actually be used for traffic investigations. So if there was a crash or a pedestrian struck, this might help us identify the vehicle involved in that.
Foley said officers will also get alerts from the camera of possible criminal activity before 911 is even called. And Hoosiers south of Indianapolis rushing to shelter as tornadoes swept through the state a few days ago. Forecasters say the storms could have resulted in more injuries and lives taken. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
Forecaster Chad Swain says the 3 tornadoes that touched down from Wednesday into Thursday came from the same system that also produced 5 tornadoes in Illinois.
So as the forcing from the system moved from Illinois into Indiana, it created new thunderstorms which produced tornadoes because they still had that same favorable environment.
Swain says the 3 tornadoes that touched down in Indiana were rated 2 EF1s, 1 EF2. At least one person was hurt, but nobody was killed. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunday, first full day of summer and Father's Day. We'll have a cold front come knocking at night, and out ahead of it could bring some showers and even some scattered thunderstorms through the evening across central Indiana. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Ethan Rosick for 93 WIBC.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone, because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Want to protect our planet? Begin with birds. Birds are sentinels that reveal the health of our world. At Audubon, we help them thrive, so all of us thrive as well. Here, hope takes flight, because progress begins with birds.
Welcome to Saturday night on the Circle. My man Ethan Hatcher has a day off. He trusts me with his baby. My name is Jerry Lopez. You can find me under Indy Spanglish. We have a Secretary of State nominee, and we are immediately going to go to the phone lines. We're going to talk to State Rep Andrew Ireland, who is the campaign chair for Max Engling, my number one guy at the State House. First of all, congratulations. Give us how the day went. I saw it was, a couple different votes, and just what's the overall feeling, and how do you feel about today?
Hey, thank you, Jerry. Thanks for having me on. I'll tell you, it's been a big day. What a huge day for the Indiana GOP. We had something like 1,800 delegates make the trek out to Fort Wayne, Fort Fun, which is exciting. It's nice to, get it outside of Indianapolis sometimes and, take the show on the road. And we went through a couple of ballots. It was a tough fight. We had, I think, 4, candidates that all had their merits. And at the end of the day, it was really great to see my guy, Max, pull it off. For a guy who started just something like 30 days ago, that takes a lot of work, and it takes a really strong candidate. And I think it just shows you the kind of candidate he's going to be this fall.
I mean, I can tell you Max was a great candidate, is a great candidate. We had him on the podcast, Those Ash Holes, and we had him for 2 hours just to sit down. But I think a little bit of credit needs to be given to you or even Jim Banks, who said, hey, I'm gonna endorse that guy, right? I mean, and Max is a great selection. And before I go any further, congratulations to David Shelton, who ran a great race, got a lot of votes, and there's something to be said about, standing up, kind of individually.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say Dave's a very nice guy. I had a chance to sit down with him a number of times when he's out running, and I think he ran a really good and clean campaign. I think he's a very bright clerk, and I think he's got a bright future ahead.
So what's next on the table? I mean, is it all eyes, all hands on deck now looking at Bo Bai? Did you see where Ballard came out and said he had 50 or enough signatures to be ready to go?
Yeah, not a surprise at all. I mean, I don't think that's even, new news at this point. I know he said earlier this week it was 40,000. I think we figured that was coming. And I would suspect that, Greg Ballard will be on the ballot in the fall. And so that's where our focus is today. We'll celebrate tonight, but tomorrow it's time to get to work. We've got H-1B Ballard on the ballot, and you're going to have little Bo Bai, a third-generation guy who clearly just moved back to Indiana to run for office. I think we've got a really strong candidate, one who I really think is going to end up crushing the Democrats and Ballard in the fall, but we've got to put in the work. We've got to get that message out, and, I think Max is already getting to work on it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's big on this is you are for closing the primaries. I mean, you're out front. Max is as well. What kind of difference would that make here for us?
Well, I think we've seen a number of races in recent years where you had often incumbents, sometimes an open primary, where you had the super moderate candidate wins. And it's not because they were supported by, moderate Republicans within their primary. That just happens to be the makeup of it. It's Democrats crossing over into Republican primaries to go and get these squishy Republicans. And it's not, without consequence. I mean, if you look at the things at the State House, you want to talk about property taxes, you want to talk about, the wheel tax, the gas tax, all these kind of things that stack up over time. It's in large part because you have weak, wimpy Republicans that are being picked by Democrats in our own primaries. So closing primaries, I mean, it's just common sense. Republicans should pick Republicans. Democrats should pick Democrats. And then in the fall, we're going to duke it out and may the best candidate win. And so I'm really glad to see that Max has led on that fight. And, really interesting, too. So we had our party platform that was approved just, today as well. And one of the things that was amended into it was a promise to close our primaries. So now it's on the State House to deliver on that campaign promise.
That's awesome. I did see where somebody posted that there was a lot of disgruntled Morales delegates that were going to be signing this pledge and plan on voting for Ballard. Now, for me, I think that should eliminate you. That would make you no longer in good standing. I just want to see where you feel about that.
Yeah, my guess is that's largely coming right out of Bo Bai's campaign. I think Republicans are going to come home. Max sits right at the center of our party. He's a great America First conservative, and he's a young guy. And I think we need more of that, frankly, in our state government. Certainly an example of that, too, is like we have to have the new generation to step up and lead the fight. And so if you're a Republican, I mean, I think Max is exactly the kind of candidate you want. Even if you didn't pick him on the first ballot or on the second ballot, at the end of the day in November, there's a lot more that we agree with Max than we do with the other two people.
100%. And you're part of that younger crowd too, right? And so am I, right? Like the face of the Republican Party in Indiana needs to change a little bit, and you and Max are in the front of that.
Yeah, it's a privilege to do it. I'll tell you, one of the things that's most exciting for me is if you look at the 1,800 or so delegates that were out in Fort Wayne, a lot of them were under 25, under 30. I mean, a lot of young guys, young women that came out and said, I want to take my weekend not to go out and party or whatever it may be on a Saturday. They're showing up to Fort Wayne to make this really important decision. And I got to tell you, I think Max won that demographic overwhelmingly because young people are looking for a young leader really to take up the mantle, to lead the fight for them. And Max is that guy.
Yeah, and I saw where the youngest delegate, I think in the state of, in the history of the state, was Mario Masalami's son, Jackson, participated.
Yeah, isn't
so
that
that's
awesome?
Another one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, all right, so congratulations. And we're going to speak to Max in around 8:30 for those of you that are tuning in. We're going to get Max. We're going to get him on the line. If you want to ask him any questions, go to the YouTube chat. Go to WIBC's YouTube chat. Go to Saturday Night on Circle and put your question there. I'll ask Max. My question, now let's turn to you. You got a lot of things going on. What's next for you outside of being the campaign chair? What are you doing at the State House?
Well, we go back into session in January. It's budget year, so it's the big session. Everything comes back on the table. We got to start from zero again. And a lot of priorities for me. I mean, one, we got to make sure that we stick to universal school choice. That was a big win last session. It's easy to walk that back. I want to make sure that we don't. Crime in Indianapolis is, just getting ridiculous. I mean, you see these repeat violent offenders that go, 20, 30, 40 times where they're arrested for something horrible. And then there's no accountability on the other end. And so something I've been beating the drum on from the very first day I showed up at the State House is we have to have accountability for the county prosecutor, for the judges here in Marion County that are not getting the job done. And so, You're going to see a number of proposals from me again this next year, and I'm hopeful we'll get some of them across the finish line to start reining in this problem. And then the last thing, I mean, I'll tell you, the thing I ran on, the kind of the core of my campaign was property tax relief. And I think it's a conversation we have to continue to have. I think we did some good things. I voted against SB 1, 2 sessions ago when we passed it. I didn't think it quite went far enough, and certainly didn't do what, I promised to do, which is to give people lasting, meaningful relief on their property taxes. So I think we had to go back to the drawing board. We got to see what else we can do. A friend of mine, J.D. Prescott's got a great plan, I think, is looking to basically repeal all property taxes, at least homestead property taxes, and replace it with a services tax. I hear there's another bill that's making its way potentially through the Senate, maybe in January. So there'll be a lot of proposals on the table, and I'm open to any of them that will give relief to the people of the South Side where I represent.
Can we still look forward to some bill being proposed about being able to impeach these rogue prosecutors? I am so tired. It's all around the country. It's not just an Indianapolis problem. We are seeing people that shouldn't even be out of jail committing a second heinous crime.
No, I agree. It starts in the prosecutor's office. If there's no accountability there, then the rest of the system cannot function. So, yeah, I'm almost certain that you will see a bill from me to bring that back next year. We have to have that piece of accountability, whether it's impeachment, whether it's the governor removing them. I mean, there are a lot of different ways to skin that cat, but that cat does need to be skinned.
My question on that, and I have to ask, I guess, my fear is anything we do, the left could do, and maybe we're a little insulated here in Indiana, but we see it at the federal level. And it's like if we set a standard, could be a problem in the back. So how do you feel about this? Is a duly elected person by the people of Indiana or Indianapolis. Like, what right do we kind of have to remove that person?
Well, listen, it's one thing for somebody to have discretion. We want prosecutors and judges alike to have discretion to make good decisions and, to use their judgment. But there's also abuse of discretion when you go too far. And when you have somebody that's been arrested 45 times, that seems to me like the ultimate case of abuse of discretion. And that's where the state house should step in. I mean, we're the ones that write these criminal laws. It's the job of the prosecutor to enforce them. And if they're not doing that, then they need to go. Public safety is always going to come first. And then, of course, you can always put, good checks in place where this won't always be a Republican-dominated legislature. There'll be a day where Democrats take it. I hope it's no time soon. But we want to make sure we have those checks in place. And one of the things you can say is you need 2/3. That's a really high bar. We don't agree on a lot of things at the State House sometimes. And I think on big things like this, that means that we're going to have bipartisan support to remove these people. But I got to tell you, I think it might be there. I mean, particularly what's going on in Marion County. I talk to Democrats, too, that are absolutely sick of what's going on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Hey, I just want to say happy Father's Day, brother.
Hey, same to you, man.
Definitely. And, can't wait to talk to Max. So, sir, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, okay?
Thank you. You, too.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Now, you're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm Jerry Lopez. We have some really fun stuff coming up. Hold the L if you don't know anything about that. It's where I give an award to the biggest loser of the week. This is a pretty funny one. We have Brandon Liam from Building a Refuge. It's a men's mental health organization. I'm partnering with them for a big party next Saturday at the Carmel VFW. It's free. Show up. There's bands all night. We have the GOP nominee for Secretary of State in the second hour. So come right back. This is Saturday Night on the Circle.
Please be advised, you may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone, because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
When I grow up, what should I be? A chef? A sprinkle of this, a dash of that? I'd probably eat more than I'd cook. I could be a ballet dancer. I'm not exactly graceful. I've got 2 left feet. Literally. Or what about an astronaut? Wow. Tempting, but a little far from home. Maybe I'm meant to help in a different way. Or maybe I'm destined to give someone hope.
At Dogs Inc., our puppies grow up to change lives as guide dogs, service dogs, and skilled companion dogs, trained with love, provided at no cost, and made possible through hope.
Now that's a perfect fit.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Latrell spent more than 8 years in foster care. His world changed when he was adopted at 15 with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
I think about how much we love him, and I wish we could have had him for his entire childhood.
The foundation is changing the lives of thousands of teens waiting in foster care. You can help. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This hour powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop overdose.
He checking these chickens, and I go speed racing for the record,
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. My name's Jerry Lopez. There was an agreement made between Iran and the U.S. It had 14 points, but it looks like Iran has already violated the deal. Call me surprised, but they closed the Strait of Hormuz already. Like, it's first day. I mean, I'm not surprised whatsoever, but I'm a Trump guy, honestly, and I want to tell you the points of this, and I'm not going to go through all the paragraphs, but I just want to give you the points, and I want you to tell me if you feel like we won this deal, okay? So basically, the United States agrees to terminate all military operations in Iran, everything. We're not going to do anything there. We're also going to respect each other's sovereignty. Well, Iran respects our sovereignty. Basically, that's a rule for us, correct? How about this one? We are going to commit to a final deal in the next 60 days, so we don't even really have a deal yet. We're going to get rid of the naval blockade within 30 days, which we did, and then they closed the Strait of Hormuz again. They're going to make best efforts to give safe passage to commercial vessels with no charge for 60 days only. Well, they didn't even make it 7. All right, think about that. Didn't even make it 7 days. The United States, and this is a big one, the United States of America undertakes with regional partners to develop a definitive, mutually agreed upon plan with at least $300 billion for the reconstruction and economic development of Iran. I saw the axe. That doesn't help us at all, right? There's so many of these things. Like, the United States will undertake to terminate all types of sanctions against Iran. Well, that doesn't help us either. Iran reaffirms that it shall not procure nuclear weapons. Well, that's why we're there in the first place. I mean, so many of these things do not feel like we won it all. But J.D. Vance stood in front of the podium, and he said something that a lot of people are saying, and it's kind of getting a little bit of steam.
I saw the Axios report. that Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you have seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal, and in some ways very personally attacked the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world. And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, but to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
When have you ever heard the sitting vice president look Israel in the face and say, don't forget who helps you. Don't forget who pays for your stuff. Don't forget who sends you weapons. That's us. You might not like what we're doing, but we have to do what we have to do for our country first. But secondly, there's only one other nation that stands with Israel as much as we do, and it's us, nobody else. That's it. So let's go from that to another war that kind of fell off the radar for a while there. Ukraine and Russia are still fighting, and we haven't talked about this in a long time because of the Iran operation, but Ukraine launched its largest drone attack on Moscow in years this week. They sent like 200-something drones to a Russian capital and hit this oil distillery. So the main target for them was a major refinery in Moscow's district on the capital's southeast edge, all right, which had already been attacked earlier. Footage shared online shows fuel tanks detonating, multiple parts of it just going everywhere. The refinery itself holds about 40% of the capital's petrol, and about half its diesel. So that's a big thing, but the part that worries me here is drone wars, and this is a real thing. I mean, I'm a military vet. We still are using M16A1s. Of course, we have great special forces and Rangers and Navy SEALs and everybody. But we're at the point now where the person that's going to attack you is sitting somewhere in some bunker just launching drones. They're not even in danger, and the thought of that is terrifying. I mean, Ukraine and Russia, they're just dropping, well, two things. They're either dropping grenades from these drones and hitting people, or they're kamikazing the drones and just running it into stuff. Either way, that's not really war. Like, war is emotion. Imagine taking all the emotion out of it because it's like playing a video game. Right? I mean, I have a son who could probably pick up that remote right now and get to work. He's played so much Call of Duty. He knows how to do all this stuff. And it's very scary, but it's the same thing that Iran did to Israel. When you saw them just launch 1,000 drones at Israel, just overwhelming the defense forces. So we're going to take a little step away from the big stuff, and we're gonna look at Chicago. Chicago City Council voted to reject apparent accountability for these teen takeovers. Now, if you haven't seen these knuckleheads just run in the stores, ransack the place, start fighting, trash the whole thing, and somebody put something forward and said, hey, we need to start holding these parents accountable. Well, here is Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Know what criminalization does, particularly for more vulnerable communities. It has not led to creating safer spaces. We have to do what works. So I'm going to continue to call for the level of opportunity and investment.
I don't think that you find the poor as a means to fix a problem. And I'm unapologetic about saying that. Finding the poor in poverty-stricken communities to fix a problem that is systemic, a problem that revolves wraparound services, and a problem that will require for us to reimagine and reinvest the neighborhoods from which these children are coming from.
I mean, if the first thing he isn't talking about is fatherless homes, then he's full of it. I'm just going to tell you straight up, that's the issue. None of these kids have dads in their lives. And if you're a dad, happy Father's Day. Right? Very, very thankless job. We don't get a lot of love. So pat yourself on the back, Dad. Right? Go get yourself something nice. Right? Because that tie you're going to get You're going to smile and you're going to say thank you, but go get yourself something nice, hide it, use different cash or something. But to say you're not going to hold people accountable and it's wrong, that's the issue. There has to be accountability, all right? Now, let's stay on the South Side. I don't know if you know this, but President Obama's Presidential Center in Chicago is actually open now, and it looks really weird, but wait until you see what this contractor says.
Well, after years of waiting and millions of dollars spent, the Barack Obama Presidential Center finally set to open to the public tomorrow after today's dedication ceremony right in the heart of the South Side of Chicago. It's the most expensive presidential library in modern history, as construction costs have reportedly ballooned from $330 million to at least $850 million. Although an updated final projected cost has not yet been made public, it all comes as some subcontractors are claiming they have not yet been paid for the work they have done.
So many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Contractors are already in bankruptcy. That's what they're saying, that if it wasn't the fact that they worked on this Obama project, they would not be under this type of problem.
I mean, how sad, right? How sad. This guy who, from my perspective, got the vote because of the color of his skin, ends up taking advantage of those people. Now they're not being paid, allegedly. That is crazy. Right? And Bill Maher pulled no punches, all right? So he's on a show, and they're talking about this heinous-looking building, and he called out his own audience.
You guys were both at the Obama Library? Yeah. Do we have a picture of the Obama Library? Because it looks like Death Star. It looks like something aliens built in Dubai.
I liked it.
Why do it cost $850 million?
Yeah.
I don't understand why progressives like this. Couldn't that, money be better spent on something else? Who's going to go to this? Why do we need a president?
Well, what do you think?
Why does anyone need a presidential library? These monuments to somebody's ego out of office. Are you? Yeah, anybody here in this audience planning to go to the Obama Presidential Library?
Sure. There you go.
Really?
Bill, come on.
What a bunch of liars you are. You're not going to the Obama Library.
At a time.
All right. Hey, we are going to be back with the president of Building a Refuge, and it's a men's mental health organization. I think we need to take care of our own. It's awesome. We're having a bash next Saturday, and you're invited. Come right back to Saturday Night on Circle.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America had 250. Indiana's Revolutionary Roots tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
Are you having a hard time making it through a day of work without foot pain or discomfort with things that used to be simple, like walking the dog? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you, like Bill.
My feet would just ache, my back would hurt, my ankles, everything just hurt. And I'd seen the commercial several times before I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
Another satisfied customer of the Good Feet store is Wendy.
Since wearing my arch supports from the Good Feet store, my back pain is gone and my feet don't hurt as much. And as I look into the future without pain, I see myself being even more adventurous, joyful, and full of possibility.
Come to the Good Feet store today for your free fitting and test walk. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood just off the 65. Or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Discover your options at the Good Feet store.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Fox News, I'm Daria Albinger. Congress is looking over the memorandum of agreement with Iran. California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa speaking to Fox News.
This is not much different, quite frankly, than any other time that an enemy has been defeated and you negotiate terms of helping them rebuild if, in fact, they do not go back to their previous behavior.
Talks between the U.S. and Iran are expected to begin tomorrow in Geneva. Senator Rick Scott is pushing his colleagues to pass the Save America Act, which would require ID to vote in national elections.
Is it hard? Yeah, it's hard. But guess what? We work for you. The American public wants us to pass the Save America Act.
Florida Republicans speaking to Fox News. Opponents say the act would disenfranchise many voters, and they are not in favor of passing it. America's listening to Fox News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code GARAGE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GARAGE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GARAGE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Celebrate Father's Day now through the 28th at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. You're going to save 20% on the premium American-made Brio wood-burning fire pit. It's engineered for virtually smokeless experience. Plus, you're going to get 20% off patio furniture, in stock and special order too, and 20% off herbaceous perennials. Sundown Gardens in Westfield, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, and Miss M's on State Road 135. That's just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
Welcome back to WIBC Saturday Night on the Circle. This next subject is very near and dear to my heart. I'm a military vet, and men's mental health does not get spoken about very much. I mean, as guys, we don't really talk about our feelings, and to be honest with you, my answer to how are you doing is I'm good. It's autopilot. I think the reality is we're all lying to each other. We're trying to figure out how to do this thing called life. We're all winging it, and we're all embarrassed to tell people we don't know what we're doing. And I think that's the problem. And that kind of got me introduced to this next guest. Everybody here at the radio station has a charity event, and I approached my local VFW in Carmel and said I wanted to do something. And they linked me up with Brandon Liam, who is the president of Building a Refuge, who is doing exactly what I wanted to do. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Jerry, you got me?
I got you. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Oh, it's going great. Beautiful Saturday night in Indianapolis.
There it is. I appreciate you spending some time with us. So take us through, what is Building a Refuge?
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, Building a Refuge, at the end of the day, is a men's mental health support group. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. But as you and I have talked, man, in the past, dude, we are just a bunch of dudes that hang out and allow one another to share stuff with one another that help. You know what I'm saying? So it's not rocket science, man. We hang out at bars, we hang out at cigar shops, we hang out at motorcycle shops, we hang out in places that dudes hang out, and we don't set any expectations on one another, man, and we just share, and it helps, dude. It helps.
It definitely helps. I think one of the big things about that is, you or even me, I am willing to share first. And I think that makes everybody else a little bit more comfortable in sharing their experiences.
Yeah. You and I talked about this a little bit too, man. I mean, if you have the courage, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage, man, to raise your hand and say I need help, or maybe you're in a setting where, you can't share and you're the first guy to raise his hand. I'll tell you this. Courage is contagious, 100%.
Yeah, I tell you, men's mental health reminds me of turning in a test in high school, right? You've heard me say this before. Isn't it funny that when the first person turns in their test, now 17 people happen to be done at the same time?
Yeah, right. They all follow you up.
Nobody wants to be first, right?
Right,
and I want to say kudos to you for saying, hey, I'll be first. Now, tell us, how did this organization start? What made you start this? How long has it been going on?
Yeah, we started this in 2018, and the big reason we started was in 2015, I lost my brother by suicide, and it just opened my eyes, man. Like, anybody that's experienced, that's listening in tonight or listening to this later on, they understand, and so Eric Robinson and myself, who's a co-founder, we just started hanging out at a coffee shop, man, and we just started, talking and hanging out. What's life been doing to us? Eric has got a very, very courageous story himself, a story of hope. And we just said, look, man, nobody's doing this. And we were like, well, screw it, dude. Like, let's just start it. Let's just start it, see where it goes. Eric came up with the name Building a Refuge, which I kind of had to laugh because the acronym is BAR. We kind of hang out at a different bar, but it's BAR, right? But, yeah, man, that's how it started, Jerry. I mean, we just started hanging out, and we started sharing with one another, man. And before you know it, dude, like, this thing got wheels, and here we are today.
Yeah, so I had my little moment there on the podcast that I have with my friend Brian Alvey called Those Ash Holes. We were just having a conversation, and his wife was running for office, and I told him, like, hey, man, like, at the end of the conversation, we were just talking. I said, hey, man, I just want to tell you you're a good dad. And immediately he goes, yeah, thanks. I said, no, man, sit on that for a little bit, digest it, take the compliment. And he says, you're a good dad, too, back to me. And I looked at him and I said, man, I'm divorced. It's hard. And I just opened up, right? And I said, nobody talks about how bad a Sunday sucks when you're taking the kids to drop them back off at their mom's house. Or you come back home, you go from dad to just silence, right? And you're looking around the house wondering if you should pick up their toys. Can they find them when they come back? And people are like, I bet you're – I mean, listen, I just came back from Florida. Everybody asked me, how was it? And my answer is, it was the funnest time and most depressing time I've had.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I was there 10 days. At day 8, I'm now hiding my face to wipe my tears, right? And the next day, it's like, hey, mommy's going to be here to pick you up at 6. Don't leave, daddy. And it's like, oh, dude, But to be able to tell my friends and express that, I don't think is weak. We are all going through things like that.
100% agree, man. Everybody goes through it, no matter what it is. One of the things that Eric and I, like whether it's at meetings or we're just hanging out one-on-one with people, man, that we always talk about is like, there's no pain scale, dude. There's no pain scale. So one thing that one guy's going through is no worse than another guy's going through, right? But that instance of what you're talking about, Jerry, is definitely, it's real. It happens every day. It happens to any dad that's out there that's gone through a divorce that's got to go through that with kids, man. Like I was, as you and I talked, I was the child in a situation like that with my parents, dude. And I know my dad struggled, man. But, my dad's 83, and he was like, hey, rub some dirt on and get over it. And that's just what he did.
Yeah. And then you rub dirt on, you got over it. Now you're an adult. You're like, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff?
What am I going to do with it?
Yeah. So tell us about this event. You and I are, well, really you are, but I love it. Next Saturday, June 27th, huge event. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's great when things like this happen organically, man. And Cal, as you mentioned a minute ago, from the Carmel VFW Post 10,003, he came to me. He's like, hey, I think I got something really good here that might work out. And that's how you and I got introduced. And so I appreciate it because if we didn't have a platform like this to talk to people about this year, we wouldn't be able to promote it. So thank you to you. Thank you to WIBC, man, for helping us out. But, yeah, Saturday, June 27th, this is our 5th year of doing it. It's called the Rock and Ride for Hope. We have a motorcycle ride that's going to kick off at 10 a.m. Doesn't matter what kind of bike you ride. Just come out. You can ride. It's an awesome ride. Registration will start at 8:30. The VFW has a full breakfast that day. So if you want to come get some breakfast, get your belly full. And it's an amazing breakfast. I've had it, so it's awesome. But, yeah, kickstands up at 10:30. We're going to make a stop at Bridges of Hope up in Anderson, Indiana. And I'll tell you, man, you talk about being humble, dude. My son came to us 2 years ago and said that he was struggling with alcohol. And it's just an amazing story, dude. Like, his kid has exhibited so much courage to do what he's done. So we're making that our first stop. We're actually giving them a donation when we get there. My son's going to do a short talk that day as well. And then we're stopping at the American Legion in Noblesville. We're building a refuge. This is pretty cool. We're going to be opening up a nonprofit coffee house here in about the next 60 days. And then we're headed back to the VFW, dude, for a bunch of good music and food. I mean, how much fun is that?
Hey, we have bands starting at what, 2, a little bit
2
earlier?
o'clock. 2 o'clock. Yeah,
I mean,
2
bands
o'clock.
going all night. It's going to be
That's
crazy.
right.
We have the gun guy, Guy Relford, is going to be there he's going to do a little talk. And we have the mayor of Carmel, Sue Fincombe, showing up. We have the mayor of Westfield, Scott Willis, is showing up. We have some other people showing up. We'll see what happens. But if somebody, let's say somebody is on YouTube and they're not local and they would love to come but they can't, how can they still donate or just get involved with the organization?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. So they can go to our website, buildingarefuge.org. There's a donation page there. And we also, as you know, man, we do a podcast as well. We can do remote podcasts. So if somebody was like, hey, man, I'd love to share a story, tell a story, we can do it remote. Or we can do it if you're here in Indiana and you do want to make the trip in, or maybe you're close enough we can make the trip out. Look, if we can document something, dude, I love doing that because what it does is it concretes it in forever, right?
Yeah.
And I know this. Our mission statement is one story at a time to create hope, and that's exactly what it is. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a life challenge. I don't care who you are out there. You said this a minute ago, Jerry. You're lying if you don't, okay? I know it. Everybody out there knows it. It's just having the courage to raise your hand at some point in time in your life when you need it. And we're the kind of organization that allows you to do it.
Yeah, and the big part is don't be afraid to be first. Like, put your hand up first, because the reality is everybody else is going to turn in their paper once you turn yours in. And there's nothing wrong with that. None of us know what we're doing. The issue is, like, I look at you and you think I know what I'm doing. I think you know what you're doing. So when my day sucks, I think I'm the only one that's unhappy.
Right. And you think it in your mind, you're like, oh, man, that guy's, man, he's probably got all this, he's got it all together. And if you just sit down and share with somebody and you go, hey, man, can I share something with you? And then before you know it, dude, you're there for 4 hours talking to somebody.
Yep. Well, I want to thank you for your time. I want to encourage everybody, show up next Saturday. If you want to participate in the bike ride, participate in the bike ride. If you just want to come to the VFW in Carmel, come to the VFW in Carmel. If you want to participate but you can't donate, show up, bring friends, bring family. This is the place to bring your kid who you think is struggling with a little bit of issues, so he can look around the room and go, I'm not by myself. I thank you for your time tonight.
Hey, Jerry, thank you. Thank you to WIBC, man. I appreciate you guys greatly. Like I said, Building a Refuge can't do this without folks like you, man, so we really appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a great night.
You bet, brother. Talk soon.
Hey, we'll be right back. Hold the L's coming next on Saturday Night on the Circle.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America at 250, Indiana's revolutionary roots, tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Your home is making an impression. Chipped paint, tired colors,
Is it the right one? You need Spartan Construction Group. With over 20 years' experience painting homes, they'll get the job done right the first time and often by up to 50% less than your traditional paint job. And with a 7-year warranty. Call 317-649-5266 or Google Spartan Construction and get 20% off now. That's right, 20% for all your exterior needs. Spartan Construction Group. Painting exteriors, transforming impressions.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here. If you need electrical help, call who I call, my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They are experts in all things home service, including electrical needs. During the month of June, Hope is offering $100 off an electrical panel upgrade. Now, that's a shockingly great deal. From pipes to power and everything in between, Hope is your one-stop shop for all your home service needs. Call Hope Plumbing today or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
Radio 1 Indianapolis is hiring. We're seeking an assistant accounting manager with a background in accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll. If you have at least 3 years of experience, at least a 2-year degree, and would love the opportunity to work in the broadcast industry, we'd like to hear from you. Please send your resume to Natalie at nsummers@radio-1.com. Come work for Radio 1. Send your resume to Natalie at nsummers@radio-one.com.
Dave Matthews Band makes their highly anticipated return to Ruoff Music Center on Friday, June 26th. Tickets will go fast. Make sure you get there. Get your tickets today at WIBC.com.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. If you are in your mid-40s, you probably started bopping your head to that song, just like I did. Listen, this whole reflective pool thing that is going on is kind of silly. And to be honest with you, now they have the National Guard guarding it because they think that people are destroying the sealer that they put on. So if you didn't hear this story, there's a whole bunch of algae now. And CNN was acting like they've never even heard of algae. And thankfully, Scott Jennings had to put this lady in her place. But of all the things to worry about, they're talking about algae in the reflecting pool.
Do you believe that algae didn't exist when Barack Obama was the president? Is that right?
I believe that once he invested in the beautification of that specific part, what we did not see was a takeover that was blue and green within 36 to 48 hours after the investment happened. Because we just didn't see anything happen.
Just for the record, for 1.6 billion years, algae has existed in stagnant pools on planet Earth, but not during the Obama administration.
What I'm saying is that it was treated, which is what Donald Trump could have done before he invested millions of American taxpayer dollars when Americans are fighting to put food on the tables for their families.
I learned something tonight. I didn't realize that President Obama had cured algae when for 1.6 billion years, algae had been undefeated. So I've learned something this evening. Look, here's the deal.
They find any reason to say anything about Donald Trump, right? Like, he didn't do the work on there. It was independent contractors. But look it up. They have the National Guard now. They arrested a guy yesterday who had a pitchfork and a bucket right by the reflecting pool. Like, for what? So what they're alleging is people are going in there and busting it up to get rid of the sealer, and now you have all this algae. Okay, now, welcome to America. We have an algae problem, and now we have people that are protesting that are pro-algae.
Let's go, algae! Let's go, algae! Let's go, algae! Let's go, algae! Let's
This
go!
is real.
Let's go, algae! Let's go! Let's go, algae!
Walking around the reflecting pool with signs.
Let's go, algae! God sent the algae! Don't play God! Don't play God! God sent
We
the
share
algae!
this country with these people. This is crazy, but listen, this is a first for me. Listen, weirdos on the left who are protesting that are pro-algae. Congratulations, you are the first group to hold the L. Now, here's a story that's super sad and also just as an adult was really weird to see because it was captured on video. Did you see the video or hear the story about the lady who was rope jumping from a bridge in Brazil who died because they never attached the rope to her? The video is out, and thankfully it's blurred, and at my age, I don't want to see this stuff anyway. But let me just paint the picture for you, okay? So she's on this bridge. Imagine a bungee jumper, and they pick this lady up. So she's laying horizontal, and there's 3 people holding her. There's one by her shoulders, one by her midsection, and one guy like by her ankle. So they have her on the edge of this cliff, okay? The guy that has her ankles backs up. Now there's 2 people holding her. One person on her shoulders, one person like by her knees. This guy that let go is about 4 feet behind her. He sees there's no rope, at least I think. And they literally chuck this lady off the cliff. It is crazy to see. Now, allegedly, they were 3 instructors. I don't know how this even happened, but this lady was 21 years old. She was from Sao Paulo. She was thrown from this abandoned bridge that they do this stuff on, okay? The bridge stands about 30 meters or just below 100 feet. Now, she went rope jumping. The difference is, in bungee jumping, you get that spring back. In rope jumping, you go down, you do this little pendulum swing. But if I'm being honest, that rope doesn't look like it's going to hold you if you get thrown 100 feet. Now, allegedly, this lady was still breathing when they found her, but she ended up not even making it to the hospital. They arrested the instructors, who immediately ran away, which is crazy, and just a horrible story. And here's another weird story. There was a plane that crashed that had 12 people on it. They all died, and they were going skydiving, which is really weird, right? I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. I asked my friend, like, why didn't they just jump out of the airplane? Right? But the story behind this is the plane never even reached the proper altitude. All right? So it is being reported that it never reached the altitude of 100 to 200 feet. It was barely over the trees. Okay? He's acting as the manager for that airport. It's like 60 miles south of Kansas City. What he describes is the plane made a left turn, plummeted about 30 or 300 yards from the runway, and a lot of the victims' family members were watching because they were there to videotape them jumping out of the airplane. I mean, that sucks. That sucks. So let's change gears a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more happier, I guess. The MLB, like every other organization in the month of June, is gay, right? I mean, they all turn gay immediately on June 1st. They changed their logos, and it is what it is. But the MLB is forcing players to wear these patches or whatever for Pride Month. And the San Francisco Giants replaced their logo. They just made it a rainbow, okay? And they had a couple players that actually wrote the Genesis verse that talks about the rainbow with Noah and the covenant with the people. And all it said is Jin whatever. And they were told, don't do that again. Do not do that again, which is crazy to me, right? And then they turned around and pulled out some rule and said, well, you're defacing the uniform. It goes against the rules, blah, 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 whatever. They're not the only team to do that, though. So here's a story coming out of the York Revolution, okay? It's an American baseball team based out of York, Pennsylvania. They are like a minor league team. The team refused. They stood up together, all right? A professional baseball team has chosen to forfeit a game after many of its players refused to participate in the club's Pride Night. The York Revolution had arranged for players to wear uniforms with rainbow sleeves during their game against Southern Maryland Blue Crabs on this past Thursday as part of their team's 11th annual Pride Night. However, the Revolution said many of the players refused to wear the jerseys, and the club had to cancel the game. They made a statement that said, unfortunately, several of our players had refused to wear the scheduled Pride Night uniform, and the club decided that hosting the event is more important than forcing to wear jerseys that they're not comfortable with as playing. As a result, out of respect for the Pride community and the York community as a whole, the York Revolution has decided that the game and it was the 18th, will be forfeited, and Pride Night will continue on to be the feature element at that park. I mean, kudos to that team, right? We all have a right to do what we want. What sucks about these things that are happening is they become workplace rules, right? You lose your rights when you show up and your employer says, "Hey, you got to stand for the flag," like they said to Colin Kaepernick, "You need to stand." He has a right to kneel, but now this is a workplace issue. This isn't even about your rights. What do you do when not supporting something like this can actually ruin your life? Right? Like, you can't speak up. You have to play the game. You have to participate. So if some Clinton, or let's say it's never going to happen to a star, right? You got to know who you are. Okay, so if you're Kobe Bryant, you can say stuff and it'll ruffle some some feathers. But if you're the 8th or 9th dude on the Pacers, you got to shut up. You're not even sniffing the court. The last thing you want to do is make anybody upset. Look at Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow didn't even have a professional career. And I think it was because he's religious, if we're being honest. So it is crazy. You can see that this seems to be a fight with good versus evil, and it's nuts to see what's going on. Now, speaking of nuts, in Louisiana, a 54-year-old man named Glenn Sullivan Sr. was sentenced to 50 years in prison, and for the first time in the state was ordered for surgical castration after pleading guilty to repeatedly assaulting a 4-year-old girl that resulted in her pregnancy. The judge ordered the physical removal of his parts as part of the plea agreement under Louisiana's new tough laws targeting sex offenders. Sullivan chose the surgery over additional time. So this is the first time in the state that they had court-mandated surgical castration. I'm here for it. I am here for it. As a matter of fact, I think that's not enough, if we're being honest. You've ruined this lady's life. And you're unsalvageable. I think so. We are going to have a great night. That's going to be the end of hour one. Hour two is going to be just as good. We have the Secretary of State nominee, Max Engling, is going to join us. We also have some updates on the FIFA soccer, the U.S. men's Olympic team, or the men's national team. But it's not really about them. Tourists talk crazy about America, but they sure love our food. We'll be right back here at Saturday Night on Circle. I'm Jerry Lopez.
Falling hard on another hemisphere. Somebody tell them people Mr. Him is here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Mr. Him is here.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America at 250, Indiana's revolutionary roots, tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad.
Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention. Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Marty Corpus, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We are all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It works for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
You already know that PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your place for gold, diamonds, gemstones, an incredible assortment of one-of-a-kind jewelry, but it's also your place for estate pieces. You have estate jewelry that you want to sell, PA Jewelers is the place to sell your jewelry. And if you're looking for special, rare, unique pieces you can't see anywhere else, it's PA Jewelers in Brownsburg. 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg, online at pajewelers.jewelry. That's pajewelers.jewelry.
From the Price Point Comfort Mitsubishi Electric Studios, this is 93 WIBC HD1, Indianapolis.
Set for tomorrow in Switzerland, the topics are to include the future of Iran's nuclear program, but there could be stumbling blocks whether the Strait of Hormuz is closed again and the fighting in Lebanon. Here's Fox's Alex Hogan in Tel Aviv.
Iran says it did so because of the recent violence between the IDF and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Israeli military claims that Hezbollah fired more than 50 projectiles at Israeli forces in southern Lebanon, and Lebanon claims that these strikes have now killed as many as 20 people there today. As a result, the IRGC says ships should not approach the waterway. However, a U.S. defense official tells Fox that the IRGC cannot close the waterway since they don't control it. The U.S. controls it. And U.S. Central Command says that ships are moving in the strait. As many as 55 merchant ships transited, moving 17 million barrels of oil.
Two of the president's envoys were in Switzerland for the talks with the vice president on his way. Early voting in New York City's primary is underway, with the mayor pushing Democratic voters to the left. Here's Fox's Brian Yennis in Brooklyn.
Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani says the Democratic Party must change or it will lose the presidential election in 2028. And he says that change begins by electing more socialist Democrats in Tuesday's primary here in New York. He's heavily campaigning this weekend for 2 Democratic Socialists and 1 former Democratic Socialist in 3 New York congressional House races. They are trying to unseat 2 mainstream Democrats by promising to abolish ICE, condemning the genocide in Israel, and vowing to tax the rich.
Mamdani himself voted today. America is listening to Fox News.
Hello. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A bad start to the weekend. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department is investigating 2 separate shootings from early Saturday morning. In one, a man was shot in downtown Indy just after midnight. Police say there was an altercation that escalated into shots being fired. The man hit was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. A woman is in stable condition after being shot on the city's west side about an hour later. IMPD says those with information about the incidents should contact them or Crime Stoppers. IMPD putting up a new public safety camera downtown at the intersection of West Washington Street and North Illinois Street. IMPD Downtown District Commander Shane Foley told Fox 59 that putting the new camera there will help with identifying and catching criminals.
We've had a lot of success with our cameras, using them with juvenile mitigation or violence crime reduction efforts to identify those people involved in crimes, and we've been able to make arrests because the cameras were there.
Foley said the cameras can also be used in traffic investigations like crashes and car thefts. It's the 3rd camera police have placed along Washington Street in Indianapolis in the last 3 months. And Indiana's top ratepayer advocate is preparing a legal challenge to stop the recently approved AES Indiana rate hike. Jake McDaniel reports.
Indiana Utility Consumer Counselor Abby Gray is ordering her staff to challenge the $71 million rate increase. She says her team is working to file a formal demand for state regulators to rethink the increase. Indiana Governor Mike Braun calls the hike unacceptable, saying that when he appointed Gray, he knew she would help him fight for Hoosiers. Gray says Braun's support for customers is unprecedented. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunday, first full day of summer and Father's Day. We'll have a cold front come knocking at night, and out ahead of it could bring some showers and even some scattered thunderstorms through the evening across central Indiana. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Ethan Rousick for 93 WIBC.
Ever walk into your house and it just feels sticky? The AC is on, but something's off. That heavy air,
That damp feeling, like you can't quite get comfortable. Here's the thing. It's not your AC, it's your crawl space. Because when moisture gets underneath your home, it doesn't stay there. It rises into your floors, into your air, into your entire home. And that leads to that sticky, humid feeling inside. Higher energy bills from overworking your AC, musty, damp smells, even long-term damage below your home. Good news, Groundworks offers a free inspection. Groundworks trained and certified experts know how to control moisture at the source. With crawl space encapsulation, vapor barriers, and dehumidification systems designed specifically for your home's soil and climate. No temporary fixes, just long-term solutions backed by nationally supported warranties. Because your home should feel cool, not like the outdoors followed you in. In case you missed it, Indiana Foundation Service is now Groundworks. Visit groundworks.com to book your free inspection today.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Mr. Bombastic. We want is a bombastic, romantic, fantastic lover. Shaggy. Mr. Lover. Mr. Lover.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. That's a jam, Canyon. I'm just saying, I didn't pick that. Usually I pick songs, I left that open. You filled it well, bud. So I know Ethan's in the YouTube chat, and I'm going to use his phrase. He talks about sportsball that he doesn't like, but I'm a sports guy. And out of respect for him, we're not going to talk sports, but we're going to talk about the U.S. men's national team. Let's go, Team USA. They advanced to the knockout round, and they played in Seattle. They beat the Socceroos, Australia's team. So they won 4-1 last week against Paraguay in the group stage. So the group stage is like a pool play if you're familiar with that travel baseball. There's 4 teams, and the top 2 from each one go. They beat them 4-1, and then they turn around and beat Australia 2-0. Now, they did have a guy from Australia score the first goal for us in his own net. All right, now, the good thing for him is he's playing for Australia, not Colombia, because you would not survive 60 days after getting back home. That's a real story. You can Google it if you don't believe me, okay? But the tourists, if you haven't missed this, if you got X, pull out your laptop and just Google FIFA tourists American food. Okay, now these people are losing their minds. All right, so the fans have gone viral in the past couple days, and these are fans from all over the world, Japanese fans coming to see the Japanese team, and they're here, and they're like, our team plays in Texas, and we want to check out this barbecue. Buc-ee's. These people went nuts for Buc-ee's. They took pictures like this is a gas station. Right? It's hilarious. So one of the posts said, this is surreal. Just had the best food ever. Inside of just a restaurant here. Somebody else said, why didn't nobody tell me ranch sauce is like crack? We need ranch ASAP. One person from Leeds, which is in the UK, posted a photo of their trip in Chicago. They were there to see a team in Chicago. He said, in Chicago, if you've been ever to that mall's huge, okay? Well, I guess they have a huge Starbucks. I've never been there. If you've been there, let me know. But I guess it's 5 stories. And this guy said most Starbucks in the UK are the size of a bathroom. This Starbucks in Chicago is 5 stories. And I'm drinking a whiskey at Starbucks. But this next guy had a life-changing moment.
Yeah, I don't normally go to fancy restaurants, but I'm in America with my son, so I'm like, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. It's unbelievable. First of all, they give you these peanuts. You can eat as many as you want. Then they come out and they put this bread on the table, and I'm like, oh, I didn't order the bread. It's like, oh, that's free. and she goes, and if you want more bread, we'll just give you more. And this bread it's as nice as bread can possibly be. Got this fancy butter.
So he ends up going on, and we have a second part to that. Is that right? Okay, sweet. So he's talking about, okay, this is just the beginning, okay? He showed up. He's like, man, the peanuts, you can eat as many as you want. They bring bread, and I'm like, I didn't order that. Like, no. It's free. It's on the house. Now, if you're like me, that bread ruins my night because I get full on the bread, then I eat half my food, and I think that's part of the process. We're going to get you in and out of here as quickly as possible, which would be very smart. But let's hear about how the rest of his meal went.
It was all like ribs and steak and chips. There was an onion that had been deep fried and you dip it in the sauce. You just leave there so happy. And then Australians are all like, yeah, but in America you've got to tip. No, you don't have to tip. You want to tip. These people are the most wonderful people in the world. I don't even know why you Americans are so angry all the time. You should just be walking around wanting to hug everybody.
I mean, what a great perspective, right? He comes over here and it's the little things, right? If you've never left the country, I challenge you, just take a trip anywhere. Don't go anywhere crazy. Just go see how life is in other places. I went to Australia for work, and I mean, I would have never gotten the opportunity to do that. My company acquired another company in Australia, and I got to be there for 2 weeks just to onboard them with IT stuff. It was really cool. I was in Sydney for a week and was in Melbourne for a week. Okay, now, I was the typical guy. Like, I expected to see kangaroos. I expected to see, a rhino, like the outback, right? It wasn't like that at all. It looked like a regular city, okay? But a few things I noticed. Starbucks is not the same. As a matter of fact, there is no venti in Australia. The medium for us is their large, right? So imagine coming here and you're going, what is a Trenta? I mean, it's massive. So let's change gears a little bit. I know we're going to have Max Engling. He just today. Congratulations, Max. Congratulations to everybody that ran. Listen, running for office is terrifying. I cannot imagine the pressure it puts on people, the pressure it puts on their families. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I take things personally. And if you run an attack ad, I will catch you in the parking lot. Like I don't know how, and in this race in particular, it got really dirty and it was nuts. Okay. But we have him coming up. But Mario Masalami, he's the Hamilton County chairman, just filed something that is going to affect this race. Okay, now he just put this out for immediate release, and this was 2 days ago, so on the 18th. Hamilton County Republican chairman calls for prosecution of Ballard campaign volunteer caught submitting fraudulent petition signatures.
Thank you all for joining us as we announce.
So the reason this is big is because we just heard today that Ballard said he had 50,000 or however many signatures he had, and they're already going after them. Now, let me read you the first two paragraphs here. I'll make it quick. The Hamilton County Chairman, Mario Masalami, today called on the Indiana State Police and the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office to investigate and prosecute a volunteer of Greg Ballard's Secretary of State campaign who was caught submitting fraudulent petition signatures. Hamilton County election officials confirmed the volunteer's identity and are simultaneously referring the matter to law enforcement. Election officials discovered an entire page of 10 forged signatures submitted as part of Ballard's campaign efforts to collect roughly 37,000 verified voter signatures required to put him on the ballot in November as the Lincoln Party, candidate for Secretary of State. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Now, yes, he should be in trouble if he did that. Now, honestly, 10 signatures, you can get rid of those, and he'll still make the ballot. But let's just keep it real. Now, this is one last story, and I don't mean to scare you, but I saw this headline, and it's crazy. I'm a counterterrorism guy. The Navy discovered a massive cache of deadly radiological material, including uranium, in California. All right, so the government officials found this huge cache in San Francisco shipyard that was stashed there by a former employee of a U.S. Navy subcontractor. Around 200 radiological items, including samples of uranium, were found in a locked cabinet within a large complex at Hunters Point. Now, they go on to say the items include, different laboratory equipment used for radiological analysis. Most of the items were radioactive isotopes known as what they call check sources that are used to calibrate devices like a Geiger counter. But they're blaming this on a rogue employee doing some rogue stuff. But how terrifying is it if this is a rogue guy, what happens if somebody actually planned something? This is just one dude. Imagine if you had a whole crew of people. I mean, that is terrifying to me. I'm happy we live here, and unfortunately, I think this is going on a lot of places. But we will be back here shortly. We're going to talk about some fraud. All right, I know I'm tired of all the fraud, especially when we're paying taxes. Like, if you're one of the people that has to write a check, especially after we're just giving money to Ukraine and everybody else. I just told you earlier, we gotta give money to Iran to rebuild them. We're going to talk about some fraud. Somebody asked a Minnesota Attorney General, Keith Ellison, who's a bum, to his face about fraud. And U.S. Governor Greg Abbott did something that really shocked a lot of people and may have some residual effects here home in Indiana. My name is Jerry Lopez. Hey, we got a little bit to go still. Stay plugged in. You're going to get to hear from the new nominee for Secretary of State for the GOP, Max Engling. This is Saturday night on The Circle with Jerry. Let's finish this off right and then have a great Saturday. And if you're a dad, happy Father's Day to you.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America at 250, Indiana's Revolutionary Roots tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
Your home is making an impression. Chipped paint, tired colors. Is it the right one? You need Spartan Construction Group. With over 20 years experience painting homes, they'll get the job done right the first time and often by up to 50% less than your traditional paint job. And with a 7-year warranty. Call 317-649-5266 or Google Spartan Construction and get 20% off now. That's right, 20% for all your exterior needs. Spartan Construction Group. Painting exteriors, transforming impressions.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost my peace of mind.
My independence.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
My sense of safety.
These veterans are just a few of the men and women we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 1,800 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. We build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to live independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free, thanks to donors and supporters.
Homes for Our Troops gave me stability.
Financial freedom to grow our family.
A mental reset.
A home where I can be a dad. Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us in completing our important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely, but thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
Children are placed in foster care through no fault of their own. Because of abuse or neglect, it's heartbreaking.
We were just left in a hotel.
Tay and his brothers were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption. But more than 100,000 children in the U.S. are still waiting for a family.
Now that I'm adopted, I can focus on being a kid.
Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
We may be thousands of miles apart, but we can still connect. And when we do, we make things better. At Child Fund, we connect children all around the world with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Together, we co-create connections that help millions of children who live in poverty worldwide, and their families, and their communities, and you. Join us. Together, we can make the world a better place. 2 small worlds at a time. Visit childfund.org to learn more.
Up to 100 times more potent than morphine, the tiniest amount of illegal fentanyl is all it takes to cause an overdose. Learn more at cdc.gov/overdose.
This hour powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's diamond engagement ring store.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. Thank you to Ethan Hatcher for trusting me with his baby. I've had a blast with you guys tonight. We only have a little bit of time left, but we have some big updates. We have a great guest and some funny clips. And make sure you tell the guys, man, happy Father's Day, right? Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there, whether you're a stepdad, adopted dad, a friend that takes a dad role. We have very important jobs. And even as a coach, sometimes I felt like I was a dad of a bunch of kids. So just be part of it. And, you know, if you see a guy out there with kids, just tell him Happy Father's Day. Trust me, you will make his weekend. Okay, so as we all know, fraud for everywhere. And the thing that grinds my gears is fraud means it never even went to where it was supposed to go. All right, so waste is, okay, they had it and they maybe misused it. Fraud is it never even made it to the system, okay? We are now starting to see people charged with some of these fraud. We're starting to see some of the numbers, all right? So I'm going to tell you 2 stories. These people have been arrested, and wait till you hear these numbers. So this first one, Department of Justice has arrested 324 defendants across 50 federal districts and 12 state attorney general offices in connection with $14.6 billion in healthcare fraud schemes.
Thank you all for joining us as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs.
I mean, that's a lot of money, but here's my issue is, what happens now? I mean, if they're illegals, let me ask you this question. If you're in the YouTube chat, answer this question for me. Let's say these people are illegal, okay? Do you think they should just be deported immediately and then they just get away with their crimes? Or should they have to go to jail here and then guess what? We're paying them again. Like, we still lose no matter which way we go. And a lot of the times this money was sent back to, I'll say Somalia, because there's a bunch of Somali fraud going on up in Minnesota. So the money is not even here, it's gone. So that's my question. Like, what do you do with this person now that you have them? And they're not supposed to be here, and I don't want to pay for them to be in jail for 8 years. So where do we go with that, right? That's a good question. If you're in the YouTube chat, what do you think? So they announced a second string of arrests. 11 out of 15 people that were responsible for $1.4 million in fraud are illegals that are living under stolen identities.
15 people are being charged with food stamp fraud in Massachusetts. The scams exploited food stamp, housing, and health care programs, costing taxpayers more than $1.4 million. 11 illegal immigrants, including some who have been living under stolen identities, are among those charged.
So there it is. It just happened. 11 of the 15 people are illegal. What do you do? I don't want you here anymore. You're not supposed to be here anyway, but you need to be found responsible, and somehow something's got to happen. So in Minnesota, there's a lot of fraud that they found out. That's where the Leering Center is and all these other things, and hospice and medical transport, and lots of fraud happening. It's crazy. Have you ever stopped to think, like, if there was no fraud, how much would we actually have to pay in taxes? If all this money was actually part of the pool where it's supposed to go, we wouldn't have to pay that much, I wouldn't think. So the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, who is left, he was asked by an interviewer, man, how are you guys handling the state's fraud scandal? And he pushed back, but he's disputing a widely cited $8 billion figure, saying the typical excuse.
If you ask the newspapers for a forensic accounting, the number you mentioned is tightly identified with people of a very unique political persuasion aligned with the Trump administration. So I'm done talking to you. Bye-bye.
No, I just wanted you to clear up the number. I'm not quoting. I'm quoting several reports.
I get it. It's wrong though. And if you're a real reporter, you should know that.
I will report that you're saying it's wrong.
I mean, listen, I am so tired of numbers don't lie. If the money's gone, the money's gone. I don't care who's reporting it. Whether you're on the left or you're on the right, we need to have accountability for all these people. It's our money. And while this is fraud going on at our level, right, people are being arrested and stuff, what kind of fraud happens in Washington, D.C., in Congress? What kind of laws are they breaking with insider trading and everything else? Well, Kamala Harris wants to make a couple changes to some laws herself. She might be running again, and I really don't care who runs. I really hope that Marco Rubio is the guy for the right. I really like him. But she was on Don Lemon's show, and they brought up something that's kind of scary.
I think that there is some real shaking up that we have to do of the rules and the structure. And
is that get rid of the Electoral College?
I think that should be a discussion that we should have. I don't think we should eliminate that.
Now you need to be
as a point.
You need to be concerned with that
of discussion.
Yeah, you need to be concerned with that because the Electoral College protects the whole country. All right, it stops. Listen, here's the reality. All these big cities, they're all filled with lefties. If you just went popular vote, now Donald Trump was different. He actually won the popular vote and Electoral College. But many times the guy that wins didn't win the popular vote, right? But if you want to go just popular vote only, then really you'd only have to campaign in like 6 cities in the whole country. If you can get New York City, L.A., Miami's going to go red because there's a lot of Cubans and they're anti-socialism, anti-communism. Get Chicago, get all those. You're going to have enough votes already. So the Electoral College is super important. And I can't believe they're saying it, but that's what they're going to do. And that's why elections are so big. That's why our next guest, Max Engling, he's going to be the GOP nominee for Secretary of State. Who's in charge of elections? It's very important. Because if Bo Bai wins, you better believe stuff's going to change. Things are changing in Texas, and it may have a little bit of residual effect here. So Texas Governor Greg Abbott formally designated the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, C-A-I-R is probably how you've seen it. And they don't have a headquarters here, but they have a big group here, and they actually partnered with some people, and Michael Beckwith made the comment about Islam. CAIR was here doing like a big thing, okay? Now, he turned around and designated them a foreign terrorist organization.
So in North Texas, a Muslim community leader, Marwan Maroof here, is soon going to be deported. He's been in ICE custody since September, and then just last week, an immigration judge issued him a final order of removal. Now, according to DHS, Maroof is from Jordan and overstayed his visa. They shared, quote, Maroof was denied a lawful permanent resident visa due to his involvement with a foundation that provided material support for Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization. The Council of American Islamic Relations, known as CAIR, has been fighting for Maroof's release, describing him as a pillar of the community. Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to this on X. He said, quote, this is another example of CAIR Texas's support for Hamas and terror. Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR as foreign terrorist organizations earlier this month.
That is huge, and we'll see if other states follow suit. Now, I will tell you as a veteran, I think it's very dangerous to start labeling people as terrorists and things like that. It's very dangerous. But the Muslim Brotherhood has been affiliated with things that have happened. So has CAIR. It'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out, and if other states do the same thing, right? Indiana might follow suit. We're pretty red. We usually agree with Abbott and things like that. So we'll see what's happening, but our next guest, fresh off a win. He fought. He's going to be the representative for us for the Secretary of State. Max Engling is going to join us next on Saturday Night on the Circle. My name is Jerry Lopez. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. In the YouTube chat, what do you want me to ask Max? We'll be right back.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America had 250. Indiana's Revolutionary Roots tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
To maximize price on your home, you need more than a sign in the yard. You need a proven expert with an aggressive marketing plan. That's why more homeowners are turning to Mark Dietel Realty. Mark and his team have a proven system designed to get your home sold sold fast for maximum price. Mark guarantees to sell your home or he'll buy it. Mark is the real estate expert trusted and recommended with the sale of your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline or he will buy it. You just pick the move date. No long-term contract. You can cancel it anytime. Kathy in Indianapolis said, I was rapidly facing foreclosure on my home and I was desperate. All the lowball instant offers were below what I owed. I heard about Mark's guaranteed offer on the radio and called. Mark's team took it to market quickly, and in 4 days, we had an offer at $10,000 above asking price, way above the instant offers. Call the local Indianapolis agent, trusted and recommended. The agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232. Get all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So let's celebrate 250 years of freedom during Hubler's Freedom to Drive. And buy with zero down. Yes, zero down delivers. Shop any of our 13 locations with over 2,000 vehicles to choose from. Plus, every Hubler Q certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and a free Carfax history report. 'Cause Hubler's got you covered. Have a trade? Bring Hubler your old car for an immediate appraisal. No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. Celebrate 250 years of freedom during our Freedom to Drive Zero Down Delivers. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 convenient locations. 'Cause Hubler's got you covered. Select models approved credit. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. Vice President J.D. Vance is on his way to Switzerland for talks with Iran, but there may be stumbling blocks. Israel has been fighting with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Iran says it has reacted.
Today, the Iranian military announced that they were closing the Strait of Hormuz, but CENTCOM quickly pushed back against that, saying that the traffic has been smooth today.
Fox's Bill Malugin, another possible stumbling block. It's not clear, as we say, if Iran has reclosed the Strait of Hormuz. Early voting underway today in the New York primaries, and the city's leaders trying to push Democrats in a clear direction.
Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani says the Democratic Party needs to change and get a backbone, and he means electing more Democrats further to the left and more socialists.
Fox's Brian Yanis. America is listening to Fox News.
When was your last eye exam? At My Eye Doctor, we welcome all insurance plans, and our experts help you make the most of your vision benefits. Right now, get a complete pair of glasses starting at just $95. Visit myeyedr.com to schedule your annual eye exam today.
Radio 1 Indianapolis is hiring. We're seeking an assistant accounting manager with a background in accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll. If you have at least 3 years of experience, at least a 2-year degree, and would love the opportunity to work in the broadcast industry, we'd like to hear from you. Please send your resume to Natalie at nsummers@radio-1.com. Come work for Radio 1. Send your resume to Natalie at nsummers@radio-one.com.
When the heat takes over, Bassett Services is the name you can trust to keep your home cool and comfortable. From AC repairs to full system replacement, we provide reliable solutions with care and professionalism. And for a limited time only, get an AC tune-up for just $59. Terms and conditions apply. Sound the Hound at Bassett Services. Call 317-420-4333 or schedule your appointment online today at BassettServices.com.
We need each other because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other because when we work together, we can do so much more.
We connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
Learn more at childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
When was your last eye exam? At My Eye Doctor, we welcome all insurance plans, and our experts help you make the most of your vision benefits. Right now, get a complete pair of glasses starting at just $95. Visit myeyedr.com to schedule your annual eye exam today.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle on WIBC. We are joined by somebody fresh off a big win. We've had a conversation, but this is your chance to meet the Secretary of State nominee for the GOP, Max Engling. First of all, brother, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and it's great to be on with you, Jerry. Thank you very much.
Awesome. I appreciate it. So this is, hey, you have the ears of the people now. You got the delegates. You talk to them. They're on their man, Max. Well, now it's up to the Indiana voters. Now, I saw something earlier that tried to say Max is from Washington, D.C. or from Virginia. Now, I know that's a lie, but that's what it seems like they're going to try to paint. You're an Indiana guy, right?
Yes, sir. I am, and I was married here. I went to school here. My family's here, and we love the state of Indiana. And, you know, I just want to say I'm very thankful to the delegates at the convention. It was a great day in Fort Wayne. We leave that convention as a party that's ready to get to work in the fall as a Republican team. I'm thankful to Senator Banks, to our statewide partners with, nominated alongside was Elise Nashala for comptroller and Daniel Elliott for treasurer. And we feel very good about moving into the fall, into the November election as a unified Republican team, ready to go get it in November.
Yeah, I think there's big expectations because of the people that have said they believe in you. I think that's why a lot of delegates go, okay, if Banks is going with Max and AI, Andrew Island's going with Max and Elliott and Rokita, Max has got to be the guy. So what does Max want to do? Let's say Max beats Bobai, defeats Bobai, and you are now the Secretary of State. What are the first three things you want to focus on?
So that's the plan, and the delegates made it very clear. We even got it into the Republican Party platform that the three things we want to focus on right out of the gate is closing the primaries. So that just means Republicans are voting for their candidates in Republican primaries, and Democrats are voting for their candidates in Democratic primaries. And then you're off to the general election to see who's going to win when we get to the general. Then the second thing is to ensure that only citizens are voting in our elections. Feels like something you shouldn't even have to say, but we must be more proactive to make sure that we don't have non-citizens registering to vote here in Indiana. And then really the third thing, and we've talked about this quite a bit, and you and I have discussed this before, is to stop the fraud that we've seen, especially around these shell trucking companies that have popped up around the state. So these identical LLCs where they put these dangerous drivers onto the road with Hoosiers. The Secretary of State's office must do their job to make sure that at least what's coming out of the Business Registration Division is not getting these drivers on the road.
Now, is there anything that the Attorney General's office or the state can do to kind of hold other states accountable? Because really the issue, I mean, of course, you're responsible for here, but this is the crossroads of America. So if California has very lax licensing requirements, but they're traveling on our roads, what kind of things can we do for that, if anything at all?
So I'll start by giving a huge shout out to both the State House and to the Attorney General, Todd Rokita, here in Indiana. They have done a lot of work on this so far. They've gotten new authorities for here in the state of Indiana, and I appreciate that very much. I will say there's also a major part of this that is up to the federal government to resolve. And I know that they're working on it at the national level. Even Senator Banks, he has several pieces of legislation, including Delilah's Law, that are focused on this. But there are real problems at the federal level because some states are issuing these non-domicile CDLs, and then they're still driving across our highways, as we've seen. So there's a lot of work to be done. But I'm a believer that everybody has to pull their weight. And in the Secretary of State's office and the Business Registration Division, they've got a responsibility to identify this data and these companies and make sure that we're holding them accountable.
And I want to go back to your first point, the closed primaries. Now, people are going to be hearing about this a lot. Explain what the process is now and how it's an issue.
So right now, what you see is when you go into a primary, any voter that walks in, they select Republican or Democrat as soon as they walk in at the time of the primary. So what a closed primary does, it still gives them all of the options, whether they want to pick Republican or Democrat, but they have to make that selection prior to walking in the day of. So there's a lot of different dates that you could do that, but right now there's at least one piece of legislation in the State House where 119 days prior to the primary, you don't re-register to vote, you don't have to redo any of that, you just submit a designation of your party affiliation, and then you move forward. So when you get into the primary polling place, you walk in, you hand them your ID, and then your ballot pulls up what you have identified, your party affiliation. So what it does is it stops folks from meddling in other elections. So you don't have Democrats coming across, voting in Republican primaries just to say we want to pick a different candidate that doesn't match the district.
Right. So, for example, Andre Carson's a shoo-in where he's at. If the right had a very viable candidate, the way it stands now is all those voters there in Marion County could just go get Republican primary ballots and then pick the worst candidate.
That's correct. And so this would stop that crossover. So you'd still be able to say, I am a Republican or I am a Democrat. Absolutely. And there's not a purity test from the clerk's perspective or others. You can make that identification yourself, but it's prior to the candidates announcing that they are entering the race. So it's not about meddling in the primary of another party. It's truly about which party do you belong to.
So I know we talked about this on the podcast, but you're going to enjoy today. But now you just keep going, right? It's not over yet. And even when you win the position, you're elected by the people for the position, then you're getting right back to work. So at what point do you get to just take a little break? Is it this weekend or running?
Listen, Jerry, my whole life has been pointing to some point in the future where I think that's when it's going to slow down, and I've yet to see that happen. So that's okay. We're running right through, and we know that we're in a strong red conservative state. We know we've got the advantage moving into the November election, but we're going to run this race hard at 100% because we know Hoosiers don't want what they've seen in some of these other Democrat-controlled states when it comes to their elections. Hoosiers are very smart. They want a Republican, a conservative in charge of our elections, and so we're going to run hard. We're going to make sure that we get through the general election, and then you're right. The work doesn't stop. That's when the work really begins because we have to make sure that we move towards implementing these priorities and then also just continuing our election integrity and security that we've seen come out at the office now.
And I saw you respond. This race got kind of dirty, and I saw you respond and say, "Hey, I don't support any of this or whatever." How do you reach out to the delegates or the supporters of maybe Morales or Jamie or Shelton and go, "Hey, I'm here to support everybody"?
Listen, I committed to that before any of this happened. And I said, no matter what, whether it was me or another candidate, that we need to unify behind that candidate. And I'm committed to reaching out and working with each of these other three, to the delegates that voted for them, and to the primary voters that don't want to see division in our party. They want to see us press forward as one unified team. And I know we can do that, and I'm committed to that. And I really feel as we come out of this convention, yes, we had a little bit of a knockout drag out here, but we're Republicans, we're conservatives. We're going to come back together, and I'm committed to doing my part of that to make sure that we unify again and can run a clean, strong race into the November general election.
Couldn't agree with you more. Hey, happy Father's Day. Just take the next 36 hours if you can, just to relax and catch your breath.
I appreciate that, Jerry. And, the kids have told me they want to go fishing. I think we might have a little bit of a cookout tomorrow. I'm excited for that part, but I will tell you, we're not letting our foot off the gas because it's too important to make sure that we keep this seat in Republican hands.
Awesome. Hey, I thank you so much for joining us today. And once again, congratulations to you. And I'm looking forward to you representing all of us in the state of Indiana.
Thank you, Jerry. It's always a pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. We are coming up to the end of the show. There was the Carmelo Anthony, the kid that stabbed the football player. The judge released a bunch of stuff, video, a statement, the 911 call, just released. You'll get to hear it all here on 93 WIBC. This is Saturday Night on Circle. My name is Jerry Lopez. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Be safe. And happy Father's Day, fellas. I appreciate everything you do because you're raising future Hoosiers, so don't raise any bums out here, please. We'll be right back on Saturday Night on Circle.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America at 250, Indiana's revolutionary roots, tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Donate today at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and happy birthday to us.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
4th of July is just weeks away, but the celebration has already started at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Our employee pricing for everyone event has been extended through June. You'll get incredible savings on our luxury Lincoln lineup, Navigator, Aviator, and Nautilus, all with employee pricing. And that means you pay what we pay. And we'll guarantee top dollar for your trade, whether you buy from us or not. So come get that employee pricing. Ends this month at Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family served yours since 1972.
See dealer for details.
Since the day I got to Indianapolis, if I had a problem with my garage door, I called Garage Doors of Indianapolis because they can take care of the problem the same day. And when it's time to replace my garage door, it will be Garage Doors of Indianapolis because they've got the great selection and the team to make sure it's installed right the first time. Talk to Garage Doors of Indianapolis. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 875-4577. Online at doorstoday.com. Doorstoday.com.
Don't miss the Dancing Worlds Tour, the greatest hits from John Mellencamp, July 18th at Ruoff Music Center. A night packed with the songs you love and the stories behind them. Ticket info on WIBC.com. Get yours before they're gone.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm stepping in for my main man, Ethan Hatcher. My name is Jerry Lopez. We have some new information about the Carmelo Anthony stabbing. Unless you've been under a rock, Carmelo Anthony was convicted of murder, sentenced to 35 years in prison on June 9th for the stabbing of another student. His name was Austin Metcalf. The incident took place at a high school track meet. So I'm going to give you some of the facts. So it happened on April 2nd, 2025. Confrontation broke out during a raining track and field meet at the school, okay? So multiple teams were there. Witnesses testified that Anthony, he was 17 at that time, 18 by the time he was sentenced, from Frisco Centennial High School, was sheltering from the rain under a tea tent belonging to Frisco Memorial High School. Metcalf, a Memorial High School junior, ordered Anthony to leave the tent. According to the probable cause affidavit, Anthony reached into his bag, told Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens," then drew a weapon. Metcalf grabbed or shoved Anthony, depends on who you ask, and Anthony responded by stabbing Metcalf once in the chest.
Suspect.
So the weapon was a 3.5-inch blade, and Anthony fled the bleachers immediately after the stabbing. Now, sir, their surveillance footage is out. They saw him running, and this is the moment where he gets handcuffed, and I want you to listen what he responds to when the cop goes, "I think I have the alleged guy."
Suspect. All right, bye. Okay.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
So he says, I have the alleged guide. Anthony says it's not alleged. I did it. That's crazy. I mean, this is a kid. He made a horrible decision, and he deserves to go to jail. You ruined your life, and you ruined the life of the Metcalf family forever. I mean, I have a kid. I know what it's like when kids do dumb things. I feel bad for that parent. Like, they didn't do this. So now they've released that. They've also released the 911 call that was made.
Frisco 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie.
So Essentials is just a brand, kind of like Nike and everything else. In the arrest video, and it's out there, you can see that that Carmelo's wearing the gray hoodie. But imagine that, it's just a little stupid track meet. Something happens and somebody gets stabbed immediately. Now, a lot of people were upset because the media wasn't really allowed in the courtroom. And I don't know about you, I think there should be media allowed everywhere, just in the spirit of transparency, okay? If you believe the defendant, then you should be able to see everything. If you believe the prosecution, then you should be able to see everything. In the spirit of transparency, stuff should be available, unless we're talking about minor sexual assault cases or something like that. Anything involved, I guess maybe it's because there's minors, possibly. Well, the judge made a statement when people said, man, what is going on? Like, we haven't seen anything, and now you just dump all this on the next day. So this is what the judge said.
A jury found the now 19-year-old guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced him to 35 years in prison earlier this month. The judge, reflecting on his decision to release this evidence now, saying this, quote, I understand the public's desire to know what happened in the courtroom. The overwhelming focus on my ruling regarding the media in the courtroom was to protect the process, witnesses, and jury. Now that the trial is over, it is important to me to provide transparency.
And see, the crazy thing about this is the left squad, right, was all out trying, this is racist, this is racist, this is racist. And it's now that the facts are out and the video is out and everything is out, it has nothing to do with race. Absolutely nothing to do with race. I mean, I know you are probably not surprised whatsoever that the left makes everything about race, which is why somebody who looks like me and thinks like me is a problem for the left. Because they don't want me encouraging anybody. I say all the time, the number one issue affecting people of color is lack of opportunity. Lack of opportunity comes from lack of education. Lack of education comes from failing public schools. So if Democrats really want to help what they call disenfranchise, wouldn't they be for school choice? I mean, right? Because you want to help me. The thing that you're not thinking here is they have no incentive to help anybody. Let's say you have some person who picks themselves up and works hard, and are they going to want the government in their business? They're going to be voting for Democrats? No, I want to keep my tax money. And all of a sudden, you know, independents don't vote left. Independent people don't vote left. So here's a crazy story. Starbucks. This is a Starbucks story. Starbucks pretty left. But listen to what happened. So employees at Starbucks were fired for some crazy reason.
It was a Sunday in December 2023, the middle of the afternoon. Michael Harris was working drive-thru.
We were just going about our normal day. Two robbers walked in.
One suspect walks behind the counter and shoves a female worker to the ground.
I was scared, but also just calm at the moment because I was just like, whatever we could do to just get them out of here would be perfect.
The robbers demand money and strike Harris with a gun.
After that point, like when my vision went black, I was like, I'm about to get shot.
A customer in the drive-thru sees what's happening and reverses her car.
It was definitely a life or death situation in my eyes.
Another worker, also fired after this, saw a suspect lower his gun, so he shoved him and noticed the gun was fake.
The trigger broke off when they hit him with it. My coworker announced that it was a fake gun, like right as he got it off of them. And that's when we jumped and like started to fight them a little bit more.
But now in prison after robbery convictions. Harris says he got a call from corporate.
They said, this is Starbucks. We are terminating you effective immediately.
He hired attorney Ryan Krupp.
You have the right to self-preservation. You have the right to make sure that you and your family are not going to be physically harmed. Full stop.
Krupp says Starbucks' response could lead to a future deadly outcome.
All it's going to do is dissuade people potentially from protecting their own lives when they may need it the most. And that is not a world that we can live in.
But the world we live in is where we're scared the defendant's going to sue Starbucks. Right? Like, that is nuts. These people thought their lives were in danger up until it broke, and now they're fired. And all it's going to do, I mean, how many times have you, was it, what is that place that sells like the tight pants up in Keystone Mall? Everybody wears them. I don't know. Lululemon. They said, let people take whatever they want. I mean, that's not how you stop bad behavior. That's how you got the Summer of Love, where everybody was rioting and there's no authority, no accountability. Why would you ever stop? It makes no sense. Well, we're reaching the end. We just have a couple more minutes. I want to follow up on something. So for those of you who don't know, if you missed this segment earlier, throwing a big party there at the Carmel VFW next Saturday at 2 p.m. It's free. There's bands all night. So the party's between 2 and like 10, 11. So show up whenever you can. Donations are gladly accepted, but if you can't donate, you just want to participate and say hi to some of the people. Like I said, Guy Relfoot's there, Sue Finkham's there, Scott Willis there, I'm there, Brian Alvey, my fellow Ash Hole co-host, and you see how I have to say that word. I am so scared it's going to slip one time, but we're good. He'll be there, and it's to support men's mental health. All right, nobody commits suicide more than male vets. It's a crazy number, and it's sad. I think the statistic actually says we've lost more veterans to suicide than we did during the Iraq War. And the problem is they come back here, and I was one of the people that came back here, and it's like you don't know how to deal with any of this stuff. The regular life feels like chaos to somebody who has been in the military. There's too many options. It's like when people get out of prison, they lose their minds. They got to go back. It feels like the same thing. So it is okay to not be okay. It's part of the living experience. We're all just trying to figure this out, right? Like, who knows? But we are all dealing with our own things. So I encourage you to be the friend in your friend group, whether you're male or female, just to call your friends and say, hey, how you doing? And you know they're going to say, I'm good. And for one time, just go, no, really, how are you? And see what happens. All right? We're all in this thing together, all of us, trying to figure it out. Turn in your test first and see how many other people come up behind you and do it as well. So you're all invited out to the Carmel VFW next Saturday, 2 o'clock. My birthday's on Friday, the big 4-5. Come spend it with me. Let's have some fun. It has been an honor and a privilege to drive this baby for Ethan Hatcher tonight. My name is Jerry Lopez. My Twitter got hacked, so you'll have to find me on your grandma's social media, which is Facebook. I'm a vet, first-generation American. My family's from Cuba, and I couldn't be more happier to be here in a country that allows me to say whatever I want on this microphone. In one generation, from Cuba to WIBC is crazy. So I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and hopefully I see you next Saturday. This is Saturday Night on the Circle. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and happy Father's Day.
Indiana settlers named not one, but 2 communities after him.
More than a third of Indiana's 92 counties bear the names of Revolutionary War figures.
His wit could spark laughter or ignite a revolution.
America at 250, Indiana's revolutionary roots, tells their stories. Weekdays at 6:35, 8:35, and 11:35 a.m. and 4:35 p.m. The revolution gets a little closer to home on 93 WIBC.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad.
Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention.
Phones. I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you, for your sake and ours,
slow